In this video, I'm going to be showing you that some of the so-called greatest minds in Africa have held positions that are not so great when you think about it deeply. The one thing I know is that as time passes, as the age, move further from the Stone Age to the Jet Age, to the Information Age, and so on and so forth, our intelligence as a human species begin to be improved, and because we have cumulative knowledge, cumulative wisdom, the wisdom of our elders, the knowledge of our elders, and the experience of our elders, they come together to us. They come in our DNA, in our blood, they come in our stories, in our histories, and they come to us, basically. We're born with that much knowledge in our blood. And so we are naturally expected to know better than our forefathers and ancestors do. And now I know a lot of people will probably disagree with that and say, oh, the ancient time was much better. They lived closer to nature. They blah, 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 and all that. You know what? Cut the crap. The point is, those people, they are like the bush in the background there. You see how green it is? Very green. The land is green, beautiful, natural, perfect. Because those bush, all they know is the energy of the sun, the wind, the earth, and they simply vibe with nature. So the word is vibration. Right. But then, you see this part here that's so brown and burnt? That's civilization right there. When civilization comes to the greens, it will turn it into the browns because that's the work of man. So what happened to Africa? Okay, what happened to Africa? Is it the white man that came to destroy Africa? Was it that Africans were so dumb that the white man just came and burnt down everything and took it over from them, took your power through politics, took your land through religion, and so on and so forth? Because, these are arguments that go on all the time on the internet. So I just want to, help you to think in a different way as an African. Obviously, I'm a black man, as you can see. But do you identify as your skin color? Do you identify as the history of your ancestors who altogether cumulatively now dwell within you as a human mind, within your human consciousness? Because all my ancestors from Africa, and some of them may not be from Africa, from Japan, from wherever, from the white man's land, ancestors are ancestors. There's been commingling of blood for, millennials. And so it is almost impossible to say I'm purely a black man. All my ancestors are black. I've never been a white man before, through my genetic, my DNA. It's almost impossible to say that. And so when we are arguing about white versus black, we need to put that into consideration, that we may instead be fighting an aspect of ourselves when we try to castigate or fight the white man. And no one is saying that what the white man has done to come to a land that is virgin and come to, civilize it. You know what civilization means. Look at it, burn it down to the ground, basically. And we can't totally blame the white man for that, because it's the same thing that humans just do generally. We go into the forest, the jungles, we invade the animals who are there. Maybe there were tigers in this bush before I came here, to farm it. Maybe there were tortoises, and whatever here before I came, or before men began to come to this side of the world. If you look behind me, you can see a lot of land right there. Look at it. It's as long, as far away as the sky you can see. So maybe there were, great animals here who lived here before, for whom this was their community and family house. But as man began to come closer, these animals had to run away, because man is the quote-unquote more civilized. So man came with civilization in the form of guns, whether gunpowder is in ancient Africa or other charms and voodoo. Man came and the animals ran away. Basically, that's what happens. In the same way, the white man came to Africa, because that's the topic of this conversation. The white man came to Africa, okay, and came with something that Africans, were fascinated with, whether it's the gun, whether it's the religion, whether it's the dressing, whether it's the mirror, or anything whatsoever, or technology, generally speaking. It was basically some form of civilization. Every native is civilized. Every part of the world is civilized. Civilization is not something new, at any point in time. Since the beginning of man, civilization began. The moment you think, oh, this is like this, I can make it better by doing it this way, that's civilization. Civilized thinking is the ability to think of taking something from where it is to where you think is better for it to be. Now, I say you think it's better for it to be because it's our thought, it's our assumption that it will be better. Sometimes the assumption is proven wrong and sometimes it's proven right. But then we have to wait for the result or the consequences to determine whether it was a good assumption or not. So the white man came here, whether he came out of greed or he came out of expansionistic thinking, or he just looked through the airplane or chopper and looked at Africa and said, "Hey, people are living in this bush. Do you guys know that? Ah, let's go there and go and colonize them. Let's go with guns. If they try to fight us, we'll kill them down. Let's see what they have. We don't know what they have. Well, are we sure if they have, dangerous instruments? Wait, I can see them. They have sticks in their hands, right? They're going to fight this. They're going to do that. So they're going to fight back with sticks. Oh, come on, we're going to kill them. They're small. They're nothing. They don't have guns. Oh, look at that area of Africa. Wow, they've got massive technology. Look at that statue. Wow, look at the bronze. Wow, look at the building. Oh my God, they have big ships. These guys are civilized. They might have great weapons. Let's be careful. Let's go as friends." Whatever the story was. Right, so basically, the bottom line is that the white man came to Africa with an intention to get something out of Africa. The same way that I came into this farmland with an intention to get something out of Mother Earth. It is a human thing. It's a human thing. If you are a spiritual person, if you have the spiritual intellect, if you have developed the gift of reason or the skill of reason, you will understand that you cannot continue to push the responsibility or the blame on the white man for how Africa is. I watched a lot of videos on YouTube, on TikTok, and whatever, Facebook, everywhere, and WhatsApp, always talking about what the white man did wrong to the black man, and how the black man's misfortune or situation is caused by the white man, and how blacks should come back home and do stuff for the motherland, and how blacks are supposed to think, and how blacks are supposed to build their families and stuff like that. Look, there is the positive side of that story, which is that the black man is responsible for himself and should take responsibility for his own life. There is no question about that. Now, if you realize that the people who are living next to you are not so civilized, it is in your best interest to share civilization with them. Because when you do, then those persons and you will be able to relate much better. If you don't share your civilization with them, they will, bring in their primitive whatever, they will try to share that with you or impose on you or whatever it is, Now, I'm not saying that the white man was totally civilized when they came here. I said already that civilization is so far in the worldly sense has been going further away from that which is natural. And I use the greens in the background as an example compared to this place. Right. But as we got wiser, we began to realize civilization on the spiritual dimension doesn't mean destroying things. It means preserving things, and bringing them into other forms of expression. It doesn't have anything to do with, destroying stuff. But again, destruction is not really destruction. If we are going to be factual about it, there's no point pretending about it. What is destruction? What do you destroy? You burn the grass? Did you destroy it? No, no, you didn't destroy it. You just simply transmogrified it. You transformed it from one form of energy to another. So it's all about vibration. Don't forget that I started by saying vibration. Now, if you're a black man out there or a black woman, and you have been having the idea or the opinion, or you follow the thought of the movement of people thinking that the white man is responsible for how blacks are and stuff. No, I disagree. I need to educate you. I need to enlighten you and correct you. You are not a black man because you have a black skin. You are a black man because the wisdom of your ancestors, you see, are in your veins. And you insult that divine intelligence of the black man by pushing the responsibility or blame on someone else for your situation. You have to wake up, get up, and work on yourself because you are responsible. If someone comes to your house pretending to be a friend, and you're not aware that the person is pretending to be a friend, look, that's your responsibility. Your inability to discern true friends from enemies is your responsibility. The other person has his own agenda. You can't change that. You don't have to keep talking about what a white man did to you. You got to think of what were you doing when that was happening. Were you sleeping? Were you gawking yourself? Were you darling? Were you dumb? Were you stupid? So you take responsibility. That's how you give your power back to yourself. Because if you keep blaming the other person, the neighbor who came in to infiltrate or invade your property, if you keep blaming that person, you are not intelligent. and you are simply not thinking intelligently. You are not empowering yourself to act better and to decide and to do something good. You're thinking they're going to have to repent and then come and say, we're sorry, and give you back what it took from you. But no, that's not how you conquer anything. You have to, sort of take it. And to take it, you have to know that you can take it and that you will have to take it. So take responsibility and you can take back your power. Africa, leave the white man alone. Stop blaming the white man for everything that's happening to you. We are responsible for that. I live in this is Nigeria in West Africa, right? And we have politicians, we have leaders, traditional rulers, who were very powerful, who have now been turned into basically glorified civil servants because the traditional rulership system has been, tucked under the democratic system that is not so democratic in Nigeria. And so our kings and queens and princes and princesses are at best glorified civil servants because they get salary from these government officials. So when you think about that, you see that the structure has been redesigned in a way that favors the system that was brought in by the white man. Talk about democracy, talk about, political democracy to say, because democracy is a way of life of people. Political democracy is what the white man has brought in. So understand that it is our responsibility to reject what we don't want and to accept what we want. If we have made a mistake at some point by accepting something from the white man, thinking it was good for us, it's time for us to repent of our stupidity and be wiser now and stop taking things that we don't really need and go for what we truly want. It's our responsibility. That's all I'm trying to say. So stop blaming the white man, focus on you, focus back home. Let's do what is right to do as a black man. And the black world will be better if we make it so. And remember, before you became black, you were first a spirit. And that's the whole point of this video. You see, I get pissed off when I hear people talk about black man, white man, and all that. It's okay to talk about it because it's a part of reality. It's a part of experience. But don't dwell on it too much. Because before you became that, before you got into that drama, you were first a spiritual being. So you have to look at yourself from that point because that's your truth. That's where your power is. You're a spiritual man. You're not black. You're not white. You are a spirit being having a human experience. And that reality should guide how you think. And that way, if I want white men to be farming on my farm, I'll employ them here. They will be farming. They will burn my grass. They will cut my ground. They will plant cassava for me. It has to do with my thinking. I can make that happen. I only have to make my job vacancy and opportunity attractive enough for a black or a white man to accept it and to jump at it. It's simple. It's simply you put out something that is valuable. They want your value. They come for it. You can use baiting if you like or call it baiting, whatever it is. It is interest that is driving everything. It was the interest of the black man that made the black man to accept whatever bait the white man brought in. You don't go fishing and baiting fishes with stone. You go with something that the fish think is nice and they want it. So the black man should realize that she made a mistake in the past, and should correct that mistake and begin to do things better. That's how to live life. So away with the blame game. And if you think you're an intelligent black movement leader or whatever it is, I don't care what names they are and how popular you are. If you cannot say this truth and stand behind this logical perception of reason that I'm talking about, you are merchandising foolishness and you are robbing the intelligence of the people in Africa by telling them sentimental nonsense when you should be telling them the truth to take responsibility for their own destiny in life. So on that note, I want to encourage you, brothers and sisters who are blacks, or whatever other color you have, to always first of all think of yourself as a spiritual being who is having a human experience in a black land with the genetic disposition of a black man. But your brain and your thinking is not limited by your skin color. So even if you think that your ancestors or your forefathers were not smart enough to have protected their future back then, remember, there was no future. And now, there is no future until you create it. There is no future. There is only now and the timeline of what we do now. There's only a result. What we call the future is the result of what we do today. So wake up and get into action. Speaking of which, if you have a nice idea, you think you have a local community in Africa, and how your local community in Africa or any African community can be more developed, you can contact me in the comment section. I'll be happy to work with you on something. And by the way, let me introduce to you something that I created in my community. right here in Africa. We are 11 enclaves together as one, and it's called Okekparapo. So it's called the International Friends of Okekparapo, where we have Europeans, we have whites, we have blacks, we have Black Americans, we have people from all over the world, basically becoming our citizens or indigene of our community by friendship. So we call that citizenship by friendship. Yeah, I created that. And through that project and mission, a lot of people are beginning to partake and participate in the development of this part of Africa. So if you're interested in becoming an international friend of Okeparapo or OK friend, you're welcome, right? You can just drop your views in the comment section below. And of course, drop your email or anything, that I can reach you with, and I will definitely contact you. You can send us an email to the email address in the description section below, and we will consider how we can work together. So our projects are going to be tree planting, 777 trees, fruit-bearing trees in all our communities. So we're going to be having that, and also, of course, we want to have big solar project right here in these communities, and just put them there. So if you want to talk business, or you want to talk investment, or you want to talk community development, or you want to talk enlightenment projects, bring it on. But remember, we would not accept or tolerate anything that makes us feel like we're victims of white man's supremacy or white man's mistake in the past. The white man made a mistake. They could have been coming to Africa to learn lots of stuff in Africa on spirituality. Who wouldn't want to go to that green area to learn stuff? The white man made a mistake. Africa's situation right now is not the white man's gain. It is the white man's loss. If Africa was the way Africa should be, the white man would be the most blessed neighbor ever. So the white man doesn't know what he's missing, because he's missing the greatest opportunity for spiritual reality, which is embedded right here in Africa. Now we're bringing that back. So pay attention to what you have and not what has been taken from you. Soul Magi, I'll see you around. Please hit the subscribe button and like this video if you do.